As the infrastructure in the capital region continues to age, the likelihood of cracked, crumbling, and broken pipes and water mains, well, it continues to rise.
Yes, News 10 ABC's Noelle McLaren has a look underground at the potential problems and, of course, what it will take, meaning cost, to fix them.
The numbers speak for themselves. Hundreds of problems with local water mains and broken pipes were recorded all across the Capital District in just last year alone. We did some digging into News 10 ABC's story archive, and these are just some of the major main breaks in our area that we were able to uncover and that we covered over the past year, most of them caused by worn-out infrastructure that's in need of replacement or repair. So just how bad is the problem? News 10 ABC's cameras take you underneath for a first-hand look. Hundreds of miles of roads connect the Capital District. We see them daily on our local commutes, but beneath our historic streets, a lot goes unnoticed underground.
City main is collapsing.
Hundreds of miles of piping crumbling right beneath our feet. And when things start to break down here, it's not a pretty picture at the surface. Multiple main breaks have become the norm here in the Capital Region. Most recently in Troy, a break shut down taps for close to a week. And according to the Albany City Water Commissioner, Troy is far from alone.
I've been here since the first part of 2014. And we've probably had maybe 100 and some water main breaks. When we get parts of our system that are over 100 years old, that really has exceeded the life expectancy of cast iron pipe.
All these damaged water mains, broken down sewers and drainage pipes, they are all part of the reason why the American Society of Civil Engineers gave New York State a C- overall grade. And to show you just how bad the problem is, we're taking you straight to the source underneath.
Main is deformed here, would need to be repaired before a liner is installed.
You don't need to be an engineer to know this sewer under Brookline Avenue doesn't look right, cracking and disintegrating from age like many of its neighbors. Albany Water Commissioner Joe Coffey says 30 to 35% of local water lines predate 1900.
A 12-inch water main that was put in 1851. It was right in front of City Hall and goes up Washington Avenue. That's the oldest known water pipe that we've got in the city.
Emphasis on the word known. Coffey showed us a map the city keeps of all documented lines, many only discovered through excavation projects. He says many are made of brick and slate, and in nearby communities, some are even more archaic.
This is just an old wooden pipe. It dates back to 1797.
We are dealing with major communities having wooden pipes.
U.S. Rep. Paul Tonko has become a champion for fixing the innards of our infrastructure.
It's a commodity that's essential.
But despite its urgency, he says since we can't see the problems until they erupt, they stay unsolved.
Well, it's a out of sight, out of mind mentality. We trade in our cell phones because they're no longer the most high tech, but we're content to live with our drinking water pipes for 145 years. It doesn't make sense.
The fix? Funding for repairs and replacements, something federal and state government has struggled to find, especially for projects of such proportion. So we wanted to know, how much money would it take to replace the entire water system for one city here in the Capital Region?
Well, perhaps a $320 billion investment. So, you know, we have a long way to go.
If somebody wrote us a check for $500 million, we would be happy to replace nearly all of our water system.
So where does that magical money come from? How do we get it? Capital District Transportation Director Michael Franchini says it can't and won't happen overnight, and that's why the push needs to start now.
You really want to spread that cost out. You don't want to have it happen all at one time, say 25 years out from now, having this huge expense of replacing infrastructure when you can spread it out over the life of the system itself.
Representative Tonko and other public officials seem to agree. Tonko went on to tell us that the bulk of the funding really does need to come from the federal government. It can't fall on the shoulders of the taxpayers who simply inherited the problem and will continue to pass it on to their kids. He says he's making it his mission, but he's got a ways to go. In the studio, Noelle McLaren, News 10, ABC.